Dreamlight taking on Starbits. Look at that. Look at that. Right at the top of the hour. With seconds to spare. Dreamlight so far this season wins over Empire, SRPC, and Frosttails. These are big dubs. These are big dubs. And Pytel as well to start this season. That one not as prolific, but especially, I mean, Frosttails and SRP Check are proving to be very big wins right there. On the other side, 4-2 for Starbits. Losses are to Quasar and Mew 3. You know, your wins are honestly nothing really stand out. We might have rated Unks and Chuns or a French Revival win earlier in the season, but both of those teams we're now seeing are struggling here early on. It was a Nepal pick out of Dreamlight, and they will ban out the Diva headers. We get ready to move into our second match of our doubleheader. Apologies for a little bit of a scuff start. I expect this one to be a banger as well. But, I mean, I will say Dreamlight have looked exceptional. Slowdive and Gucci are just cleaning house here this season. I feel like this will be a battle of the DPS, kind of speaking of. I mean, Majin and Apon are both very, very good, too. But I'm really kind of looking forward to Tricky versus Slowdive. The rise of Tricky has been a fun story to watch. Just was a bench player that had to play in during playoffs and ended up excelling and maintaining their starting spot after being a sub for the rest of the, previously throughout the season. Slowdive on the other side. I feel like Slowdive has just been a standout every single time. Every single time I see Slowdive, I feel like they're a standout in the lobby. And this matchup is going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to. Well, we'll see. We've seen with the introduction of Vendetta. We'll see if we actually get hit scans. I think we are going to get some hit scans in here. We'll probably get some Sojourns out of both of these two. We have seen some teams opt for a double flex DPS look. Although, I think there was also some circumstances behind that, like as in hit scan was sick or something like that. And both teams ended up just running kind of a Vendetta Bastion kind of look. We are going to get a Lucio ban here from Starbits. So we get ready to get into our first map. We are getting Vendetta, at least from one of our teams. Starbits pulling it out, but Tricky is going to play a hit scan alongside it, so we're not getting like a double flex DPS look with the melee hero. Vendetta can kind of act as the Reaper here in this composition. Using cooldowns, kind of cycling on the front line. There's a little more, it's more maneuverability based than Reaper is. Reaper can just fade out. So I'd say a little trickier, no pun intended. And as you can see, we are seeing Starbits struggle to set up this first engage. First cap has gone to Dreamlight already. Apon and company holding bridge here with their Ramatra comp. Slowdive and Tricky are neck and neck in early ult charge. Doesn't mean everything, but just kind of a glimpse into their efficacy early in this team fight, early in this map. Alright, Pikachu goes down. Rabbit Company able to move on to the point. Pick up one. There's the... Oh, soaring slice is back and forth. You're 1/4 of the map with the soaring slice. You're back with the whirlwind dash. On the objective. 8% here for Starbits. Pikachu trying to open up right side. Other 4 going left are going to throw Kitsu over this bridge. Rav tries to come out and grade him, but... There you go. That's kind of... There's that difference I was talking about with just not having a shift that you can hit. It's a Wraith form that you can go into. And Slowdive comes up with a big pair of kills. No OC necessary. This will give Dreamlight possession back. 35%. Continue to build. Looking at the Wuyong carry from both of these teams. Right, Peekaboo receives the Tidal Blast. Goes in. Grab, throw it into the mix, though. Peekaboo gets caught in that. The grab, you're able to save your backline from the Tidal Blast. Tricky's got an OC over the bridge. Slowdive has one in response. They end up kind of at a net neutral. Now, the Cynics is going to go try to run down Opon, who's already used their Annihilation, but Slowdive has a good cover from the other side. We'll cut Cynic down before they're able to do too much damage to Opon. Got the stun in, but little more. So now at 87%, Starbits are running out of options here. You do have the Sundering Blade. Where are you going to go with this? How are you going to set this up? Majin's going across bridge. Oop. And they're going to swap spaces, but Majin is greeted by some Dorados on the return. Raven is able to trade out, gets one. Dash in, throws up the block. Opon is low, trying to back up and around the corner, and this will give control over to Starbits Hypnos. Leap in over the top of the slash. Does not connect. Here comes a recontest out of Dreamlight with this Kitsune. Rav intercepts it, though, but they look like a low player left, and the staff beats the sword. A late Kitsune in the fight to try to get Majin and the rest of Dreamlight, Starbits back onto this point. This will get it back. Okay, Opon is going to contest. No, they will not. They thought about contesting. End up giving it right back up. Give Slowdive time to do their thing there on that far side. That is Peekaboo getting the Tidal Blast just before Rav comes in and picks up a two-piece on the Vendetta. Cuts through Slowdive and Rod FD. There's the overhead slice for the finish onto Opon. And Starbits maintain control, forcing a final fight here in our opening round. Oh! Almost got Peekaboo with that cutting edge. Right, slide over with the OC. Pop of the right-hand side. Rav goes in. None of the DPS ults really getting a whole lot done. Although even with a Tidal Blast. Woo! Okay, Slowdive. You know, better late than never. Wakes up to fight. Two at the back of the fight. Dreamlight saunter on to this point for the flip and secure Sanctum. What a back and forth, though. Told y'all we were in for a banger. Gucci this time in on the Echo. Good swift step and Suzu out of Atomics to go bail Slowdive out, but Rav continues to engage, and we're trading out here on the point. Majin's still kicking. Looks like a 3v3 from what I can tell. Opon will run Rav off the point, and Dreamlight are going to grab control. Majin does still have this high ground position, and that is Daki up there with them. So Daki can get out if things go south, which they just did. Slowdive and Gucci combine on that kill, and Daki's going to have to swift step away. So Rav engaging through mid with Cynic. Okay, he's gonna go back up to kitchen. It's a volley of stickies and just gets destroyed. Will not make it to the Mega. Tried to whirlwind to the Mega. Didn't quite make it. Oh, that's your cooldown used. Gucci knows it. Falling back. You're in trouble. Oppon's already cleaned up on that high ground side. You see them reconvene there in the back of the fight. And this is flawless so far for Dreamlight here in the second round. You do have a Kitsu advantage here for Daki and Starbits. Let's see what you can do with this. Oh my goodness. Opon raids it. What a beautiful ult raid. They cannot get Daki though. It's a slow dive now, trying to layer in some more firepower. We'll force Cynic inside the kitchen. Gucci's gonna chase down Rav. Move up to intercept inside the small room, and that's gonna be enough to find Daki and eliminate that Kitsune Rush advantage. I think it was a good read there from Dreamlight, recognizing that the supports on the other side, probably had ult, so they go first. They don't give him a chance to ult. Rav is going to try to clap back here with the Tidal Blast, but cannot group up with the squishies in time. Rod FD will actually win out that duel, kicks the Gladiator away. We get a 100-0 here from Dreamlight to close out the map. So Suravasa pick here out of Starbits. Felt very back and forth. It was 199 on Sanctum. But yeah, once we kind of get into the stats here, seeing Opon really only died once the entire map. Same can be said for Tomix. You're looking at 10 deaths in total there from Dreamlight. Versus 17 plus 14, 31 deaths there out of Starbits. So 3 times as many teamfight wins when it's all said and done there for Dreamlight. Is how that feels. It doesn't always equate that way. But this does end up looking pretty dominant in the stat card, all right? Look at a slow dive at 10k damage leading the server. Let's talk about, slow dive versus Tricky is going to be a great matchup. Tricky is bronze damage, is behind Opon, but leads their team. Leads Starbits in damage for sure. So definitely, we'll be keeping an eye on the Sojourner battle as this one unfolds. I think this match may just kind of revolve around that a little bit. Although, I mean, Opon and Majin, if Majin's got to be able to find an answer here, we'll see. I mean, you ban out their best hero in their mantra, as we look to head into map 2. Dreamlight with a very dominant performance once we got into Village after 199 started things off on Sanctum. We are going to get a Vendetta ban out of Dreamlight as we head into the second map. Let's get into Suravasa. So Opon looking to match the Zarya. I mean, I think this is what Starbits wants. We're going to get the teleport out, and Rav will go into a Tracer. Peekaboo's actually, slash Gucci, actually sticking with this Symmetra. So it's not just a rollout here, and slow dive in the Bastion. Once again, I've seen this. I'm considering this a double flex DPS. Look, the Bastion is kind of played as a hit scan, but not really. Right, I feel like the way the Bastion engages and stuff plays a lot more like you'd play with Zarya Reaper. And so this to me plays like a double flex DPS comp. But they're both like utility. It's just massive burst damage up front. Is what the Bastion brings. And you have to respect it. So right now playing at the back of the fight here. There it is. You're going to see kind of in with the engage. Okay, not getting super aggressive with it. Just some kind of long-range poke damage on this one. No bubbles were even used there from Opon and company, but they've got control of the point. They want to be conservative with their resources. Nice little catch of the aggression as we see the slingshot back in from Starbits. And Starbits will flip this point. And Matrix from Tomex will flip it right back. Dreamlight get control. Yeah, Opon was down and critical there for a moment, but quickly healed back up. Deadeye from Tricky. Immortality Field already used. Bubble from Opon keeps him alive. And just a quick little teleporter. It's all the repositioning you needed to stay alive through that. Majin trying to grab. Pulse will land on the slow dive. But Dreamlight has appeared to be holding on through this chaos quite effectively, as a matter of fact. The Majin grab felt a bit desperate there. Felt a bit desperate. Majin's going to go ahead and swap. After, I was speculating, maybe Majin may be able to perhaps get the better end of Opon in that particular duel, just in the Zarya mirror. No, Majin is not liking it. Photon barrier up from Gucci. We will not get the touch. That is the cap on the point, despite the Kitsu in play. You do get the photon barrier out. So the Kitsu isn't a total loss. You do force the other team to spin to cap the point. But cap, Dreamlight shall and clean up flawlessly here on the back of it. No trades. One ult expended. You can't really ask for much more than that. We'll head over to Temple here for this second flashpoint.
In 10 seconds.
Bit of a defender's advantage, not to mention an economy advantage here for Dreamlight. Risky beak from Cynic does land. But right after he has the match, you've got slow dive behind an Amp Matrix, and nobody's getting close to this point. Opon really has turned into just a beast of a tank player, right? Felt kind of middle of the pack, maybe back in the Mythical Minions days. But how Opon has grown, just immense growth over these past 3 seasons. And it has really become one of the most formidable tanks here in EMEA Master Division. Grab now ready, you're going to drop that in, fine 3. Susie will hold you temporarily, but nice little right-click combo in. You'll eventually pick up a couple of kills. Rod FD knocks Majin off the side, and the duplicate from Rav won't do a damn thing. Temple will go to Dreamlight. Starbits Hypnos are hoping for a palace or garden spawn. They're not going to get it. We go Ruins, which is ideal for Dreamlight. Same side of the map, they can just back right up into it, maintain their defender's advantage the entire time. Worst possible spawn for Starbits of the 3 remaining points. We'll see if they're able to overcome. You do have an OC out of Tricky. Talking about Tricky versus Slow Dive all day. Let's talk. Let's see. Come on, Tricky. Need you to step up. I've been hyping you up, boy. What you got? That's a mean chunky headshot. Up on low just immediately with back-to-back headshots. But they're able to get topped up behind the protection of Gucci's photon barrier. Gucci themselves will step up and melt through a wrap. So 3v3 left on this point. Majin steps up a little too close. Went to go play up front. You do get the sound barrier invested here from Dreamlight just to maintain this point, but there's not a Lucio on the other side. You don't have to worry about matching. You're not really worried about the flux. I believe got expended in that. Majin at 15%, so Very well played. The sound barrier confirms the cap. You maintain this defender's advantage that Dreamlight have been just thriving in. They've pretty much had the luxury of this for the entirety of this map. I think Tricky's OC was your best chance to break it open. Rav does have a dupe in a position to touch, perhaps. Yeah, he's going to have to prioritize going to the point. Drops the dupe onto the Symmetra. Actually manages to escape out of there. And Thomas gets melted. So we've got ourselves a fight on the point with a photon barrier in play. And Starbits getting a little bit of a foothold. Rod FD will get melted down, and they will actually get the flip. Starbits put one together here. Rav just drug him kicking and screaming to a fight win. What a brilliant, the TP to get out. And Rav even turns around and gets a kill. Once the duplicate ends, they find a kill with the focusing beam. So Rav being able to actually survive, not only get the touch, but get out and survive was crucial. Well played. Nice little clutch out of Rav. Now, obviously, there's a big mountain to climb to claw this map back, but that was an invigorating teamfight win. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Make a move onto the point. Dropping a photon barrier. Majin looking a bit cornered here as Opon rotates, swinging with a 100 charge beam. Rav is able to melt through Gucci, and the takes trade out, leaving a +1 for Dreamlight on the, for Starbits on this point. Unfortunately for them, they gave up control in the middle of that. If they hadn't given control in the middle of that, this might just been a point win. But perhaps another opportunity with the teleporter to get in here and get a touch. Grab to hold. Starbits in place. Opon's grab is enormous. A sack fly to get onto the objective. Majin, speaking of flying, tries to see if they can find anything with the flux. No such luck. The rock lands and the combo will take Gucci down. Slowdive returning on the Freya will clean up though. That is a 99% 2-point flip. Rav will not find the miracle clutch this time. And Dreamlight move up to 2-0. So a Shambali pick here. I mean, Starbits already been off the rim. I mean, I think no matter what you do, Opon can go into a Ramatra here. I'm very surprised by the Shambali pick. I worry you're playing right into Dreamlight's hands with this pick. Okay, so we're gonna get a manga ban out of Hypnos. Out of Starbits Hypnos. This feels like a tank protect more than anything. Look at some stats there from map 2. I think Opon's gonna be happy to go into a. I mean, the whole team. I think all of Dreamlight will be happy to go into a Ramatra style brawl here for this map. We might be just getting that mirror, as a matter of fact. Stakar once again looking pretty one-sided. It's Gucci actually leading the server in damage this time around at 7,900. On the Symmetra. Was that a Symmetra leading the server in damage? That's kind of wild. I mean, most elims, fewest deaths, most damage. A great map on a Gucci. Slowdive out damaging Tricky there in our hit scan 1-to-1. Although Slowdive playing a Bastion, so I mean, it's a little, it's not quite apples and oranges. You know, it's not quite apples to apples here, I guess would be the accurate way to say that. But nevertheless, Slowdive's still outputting, you know, about 1,200 more damage. Now, I do, with a Bastion, just kind of pointed at tanks. You know, that happens. Taking a look at our ban. It is going to be a Sojourn ban. Actually, out of Dreamlight, they are just going to straight up ban the Sojourn. I mean, and that thing is showing some respect to Tricky, and I think well-deserved. I think it's some well-deserved respect thrown in Tricky's direction. Time for map 3. Slow dive scouting with a pineapple pizza. I did not mean to shove the camera into them. I also did not mean to mute. We're okay. We're okay. Majin does go back into that Zarya. I mean, I do feel like this is Majin's best tank. Both of our tank players feel like they get to pick their best hero right now. We'll return to Rav into the Vendetta after he got banned out there in map 2. We talked about kind of using this as an engage tool, but Tricky has to play the Cassidy here with the Sojourn banned out. So not quite as much range, and you don't want to pull off the Ashe, because then I think you're just too vulnerable to Gucci's Echo. I don't know, maybe you do still pull off the Ashe. Can Tricky find the range for that? Maybe it's just a matter of wanting to have a little bit more of that brawl style. You know you're going into the Ramattra Brawl, so you bring the Cassidy to try to match the, you know, that mid-range damage where Cass excels, so you can just put out exorbitant amounts of damage. I think that may be the thinking, so that means you want to get in that mid-range. You got to fight to get this squad up close and personal, really. So 3-2 split. Rav is actually just going to flank up top, try to close the gap on slow dive. There's a Kitsu out of Daki here on this high ground. Interrupted temporarily by an artillery strike out of slow dive. But Majin and company do find a couple kills. It's Rav coming up with a pair. As a matter of fact, make it 3, looking for 4. Cynic will steal that final blow, but you end up with a good fight here in fight 2 for Starbits. What's mouse? Mouse, what are we doing? The mouse just decided to crap out. We're all good now. Tidal Blast on to Rav. Oh, that's a mean recipient to get a Tidal Blast. Mean target. Grab in play. Tricky will find Rod FD. Oh! I did not hear a sound barrier drop there. I think Rod FD might have gotten AJ'd with that Deadeye. Rav was looking to set up for this Sundering Strike. Not going to get it in. Wheels down. Up on turns the corner. Slow dive moves into the window to try to intercept, but some good damage. Woo! Rod FD eats mean damage indeed. Peekaboo tried to duplicate the Vendetta, if I saw that correctly, but it did barely even last long enough to tell. Soaring Slice, close the gap, wheels down, the duel lives, Rav with 6 health, they will not escape. Up on a Dreamlight hold with 3 minutes remaining. It's true. Giardia, it is so true. Curie is the only hero that's repeated between these two compositions. It's a good point. That's a really good point. All right, look at this Tidal Blast on to Rav. There it goes. We're going to run in and try to find the Lucio with it. You'll get the stun, you'll get the kill. I mean, unlike a Tracer, you don't have to use your ultimate to secure that kill. So we're going to go start pushing the card up to this corner and try to turn this into a final fight scenario for the objective, for the attackers to cap here. That is all Starbits. We did get 3 ultimates invested, but hey, you know what? They clean up nicely. They do. Works like a charm, I will say. Now, did you save anything for this last fight? Will the grab alone be enough to cap this out? The cart didn't quite get pushed close enough to, you know, force that into a one-fight, win-the-point scenario. So you can see recontest is in. Kitsu will be in play. Grav over Opon to protect him through the Graviton Surge. Now with form up, blocks it in. Opon's just able to go claim this corner. Throws down the Vortex and immediately sends Tricky back to spawn. No need for the Qs. The defense will stabilize with 75 seconds to go. It was just that Kitsu invested from Dreamlight to make that hold. The grab is not, in fact, enough. You're able to one-to-one it if you're the defense. That is ideal for Dreamlight's defense. So Photon Barrier and an Annihilation to hold this is just so much to work through if you're Starbits. This is looking like your last opportunity. I don't think you're going to get another chance past this unless this just goes south very, very quickly. But Opon runs forward. Kind of yeets themselves forward with an Annihilation trying to go first. I don't think that was the play. You had so much sustain here if you're Dreamlight. And so a gift here for Starbits. Oh god, Peekaboo just got sent to the winds. We do get a touch. This is Opon return. We get 21 centimeters. Separating this team from the cap. Tricky's going to throw in a Deadeye, see if they can push it over the line. Sound barrier from Rodati will protect him from the initial part of the Deadeye, but not the follow-up shots. This defense is falling one by one. Those final 21 centimeters obtained here. Cool. Slowdive's got the major. We're getting some Overwatch 1 ultimates thrown into this thing. Alright, Sending Strike in the air, bubbled up, Opon in trouble. It's an enormous amount of damage from that. And eventually we'll get brought down, trying to hold very, very close. There's a Tidal Blast, then thrown in. I think tried to save Daki, but it failed, if I saw that correctly. Nevertheless, Tricky's able to find two. Oh! Rav with a Spidey sense. Leds the overhead. Will force cooldowns out of Daki. Excuse me, out of Tomix, rather. Gets to get back on the point. Rav able to get out of there. Majin throws in a Graviton Surge, though, is able to get 3 in that. Just decimating the back lines here for Dreamlight. Capping the point with 3.9 seconds remaining.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match. Ready for battle. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers injured. Escort the payload.
Woo! A little headshot on the Rav would make this a lot easier, wouldn't it? Teleporter tried to put some pressure on Majin, but didn't quite work out. Rav's still holding the corner. It's an interesting strategy. Your Vendetta is definitely playing as an off tank here, holding this angle. So Majin can stay up on the high ground and help protect the backline. Here's the rotation out of Oppound. Dreamlight will go to try to take that high ground, and this is where it's important to keep Majin here. So Majin's able to kind of hold this line. Low health bar for Gucci. They're not able to continue to push, just trying to back away to safety, see if they can reset for another go. Dream might successfully do so. Let's see what they want to do for this next go. You're going to try to teleport up. You're going to try to fight Rav. Looks like they're trying to just fight Rav on the low ground now. But bubble out of Majin, they're able to find safety. Tricky lands the shot, and this defense is looking very inspired here in this opening minute 20. Trying to chase down Rav. Rav gets pressured too much. They just use the soaring slice to get out of there. Woo. Good heals on Noguchi, but eventually they will get overwhelmed by those critical hits. Oh, the whirlwind up over the top to find Slowdive. That was a slick move, Rav. A nice little two-piece here for the Starbits defense. That was cool. Five ultimates online for the defense. Watch for the grab here to start. Ooh, you could also title Blast Rav. That's what they're going to initiate with. Going after right FD, see if they can get the sound barrier, but Lucio smelt it coming. They're able to amp speed out of there. You can see the amp has been used. Sound barrier, teleport up to the high ground. Slowdive's going to throw in a bolo shot. But it's the grab from Majin, and I think it's going to be the difference makers. Got three, I think we're in that. This defense is a little low, but not low enough. Majin's going to come up with their second, trying to finish off Gucci. Gucci, literal one, survives. Gucci and Oppon, I mean, neither had much health. Neither had more than 50 health. This Weong still just continues to put out a truckload of damage. I can see how the healing wave, the kind of passive healing wave that would be very useful on the Vendetta. Gets the bubble, goes in. Oh, there's some gnarly cleave on those swings. Will eventually come through Tomex. Woo! And Slowdive there. Looking for a fourth at 41 health. Whirlwind spin to get back up to the Mega. Trying to cut Rod FD back down to the ground. Rod FD is able to dance back, regroup with the rest of the team with 15 seconds to go. Smack, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you. I hope you had a great stream. Caught Tomex in the back. And we're starting to see why Starbits picked this map. You know, I was questioning, you know, saying it might be a little foolhardy to go try to take Central Oppon to such a Ramatra favored map, playing in, you know, one of Oppon and Dreamlight's best compositions. But Starbits with an inspired defense, well rehearsed and beautifully executed. They're gonna get that goose egg off the board. We're headed on map 4. They do a wonderful job of utilizing the Vendetta and more of that anchoring off-tank role, you know, through that point A. And then we see, like, through the first half of that defense with holding the corner and allowing Majin to stay up on the high ground for that defense. That was really, really cool. We've seen that kind of variation before, like with the Reaper on the corner, but I don't think I've ever seen it that effective. And with the quick, you know, repositioning of the Vendetta. If you just get too much pressure out, you know, and the bubbles get broken through, you can either regroup on the high ground or head back to back, to inside the building where the mega is. You know, you got a couple of options there where to retreat to, which is always having options is good. The more options, the better on outs, you know. But really well played. Beautifully done there out of Starbits. I did not see that band. I did not see that band at all. Rav 32 and 5. Majin 33 and 5. Machu, hello, my friend. I'm doing fantastic. I hope you're doing well. It's actually Slow Dive who leads the server in damage despite only having 13 elims. They do have 15.6k damage. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you. I always forget that. Any other standouts here? Cynic 20 and 3 is your fewest deaths. Also 8,000 damage. Look at the damage output between our Wuyongs and Cynic with 8k damage output. Woo! My goodness. Yeah, I mean, that's the power of that Wuyong. Oh, it was a Zarya band. Was that band from Dreamlight. It was fast. Now looking back at the delay, like they picked immediately. You can't fault them for it. I mean, and this is after, you know, we saw Dreamlight opt into the Zarya mirror on Suravasa, and it was Starbits who went into the Sigma and opted out of that mirror. But in Runasapi, Dreamlight are not giving them that option, and Starbits Hypnos will ban out an Echo. Yeah, the Zarya Vendetta was looking very good. You'll not have that option here. You're going to have to go back into the SIG as we... Oh, we also got... I need to get your... The bans are correct up top, but not the team banners. So we will get the Sigma once again here as we have the Zarya banned out from Dreamlight. You can see Rav already is playing far more conservatively. Just holding down this middle flank, not giving free angles over. Poking from a distance for now. Dreamlight's going to get aggressive. They're just going to go try to run down the Sigma. So they can close the gap. But a good creation will keep them at bay, although Rav does get picked. As I say, it still feels like this is anybody's team fight. Tricky finds the answer. 4v4. Slow Dive in the power position. They're in the middle, but both are 1. 16 health. Tricky gets healed up. Slow Dive cannot find their healers. Has to try to slide away and will get popped. Cynic hits them from around the corner. Tracks them from long range there with the water orb. Before they're able to get some heals from Tomex. That was a beautiful shot out of Cynic. Man, I mean, we saw the 8k damage Cynic put up there in map 3. Oh, thank you, Machu. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. So Tomex goes over to Akira. He was on a Baptiste there for a little bit. And decided that's not going to work. This does mean a huge Kitsu advantage here for Daki and Starbits to try to get this opening checkpoint, put together back-to-back fight wins. It's going to be Rav with the Tidal Blast first, but a good Suzu prevents it. He stuns, wheels down out of Gucci to try to fend off, but now the Kitsu is layered in on top. We're getting a lot of extra damage thrown in, and lo and behold, it's Cynic who finds first blood. That is quickly leveraged into a fight win, and Tricky getting a pair. Back-to-back fight wins there from Starbits Hypnos, and they're going to get the checkpoint. Oh, you see those Dorado orbs just smacking into the side of Gucci. Feels like you're knocking Lego bits off with every hit. Sound barrier response, and they're going to take Tricky out of their ultimate. Oppon's been able to get in behind Majin and put an end to this push out of Starbits. Finding their first team fight win. Let's say really their first kills all the way around. Yeah, it looks like Majin died. Whoops, sorry. Majin died like in the very first fight. I think the tanks traded there early. fight. Otherwise, that was the first deaths there for Starbits. Nope. No ult for you. Rav does catch Tomex with the Sundering Strike. And it turns into a bit of a bloodbath here, but Slowdive has the difference maker and the overclock. And Dreamlight will win their second fight win in a row. Slowdive preparing to disengage. Opon holding the line for now as Tomex and company come in from the water wheel. The three returning players get there just in the nick of time. They all converge right on top of Majin. Third fight win in a row here from Dreamlight. This one's going to be good enough for the checkpoint, potentially the lead. We'll see if we can get a recontest here while we're waiting on TS1 to kind of figure things out. Take a look around. Okay, we're ready to push again. Rav in a position to perhaps get a touch. Artillery strike up, and we will not get any contest for this lead. Dreamlight claim it a little over 5 minutes remaining. So the Surge is back here on the far back line. We do still have all players available. Rav running forward with the Tidal Blast, was hoping to get Gucci, but Gucci was just playing too far away, not able to get enough done. But tricky. That's what Starbits have been needing right there. Now the Kitsu in, Opon eats a rock, and Starbits look rejuvenated. Tricky delivering a crucial pick on the Slowdive. Wheels down for Gucci, but immediately as soon as they're done, Tricky rotates, swings on that corner, and just starts harassing, bullying that Bastion. Starbits are still in a little bit of hot water. You see 93 health on Majin. Slowdive putting a lot in and finds both them and Daki. Oh, pretty little three-piece from Slowdive, and Dreamlight keep the good times rolling. Oh my. What a swing late in that fight. It was Slowdive who died early too, right? I swear Slowdive died at the very, very beginning of the fight and came back and returned to the fight to do that. Rav playing through this house, dueling with the overclock. The Suzu's not going to be enough, and Rav claims both. That is a twofer there for Rav. And the first team fight went out of Starbits in what feels like 3 minutes. Those 4 team fight wins in a row. And it went from 64 to nothing, basically, to 104 to 64, to a 50-meter lead, 40-meter lead. Double support ults available for Dreamlight, looking for this recontest. Rav's going to go in and drop the Sundering Strike from up top. Trying to get some damage in. Did significant hurt to Opon, but Sound Barrier layered in. Kitsu as well. Majin just kind of holed up in the corner there. Not able to link up with the team. They get a shield up. Majin somehow surviving through this. But Rodati is now down. Tidal Blast in. Get the stun on Essential Opon. This will also increase the healing to Majin as well. And so despite losing their speed, Rav and Tricky, Cynic all find the right plays here to hold on to this fight. Looking at Daki with the slow build on this OC. And so we're seeing Starbits kind of fall back a little bit and play the second corner. See if they can get this ultimate online. There's a rejuvenating wave. And with the Suzu, it's enough to get the Kitsu back in play. Woo! Nice headshot. Finishes off Gucci out of that corner. Freeze everybody up to just keep all eyes forward. The Starbits look to reclaim their lead. 2 minutes remaining here on their map pick of here in Dreamlight's map pick of Runasapi. The block will negate 75% damage of the pulse bomb, but it also destroy the block. Lead goes to Starbits. Woo! Look at it, I went through Majin and Rav. So that dodges the rock. OC trying to hold this right hand side. Majin pushes up. Got a lot of shielding from the hands. Slowdive's able to find Tricky there at the end of the fight. Oh, you catch Rod FD with that rock. That was unintentional, but you take it. Fortunately for Dreamlight, they're able to get their Lucio topped up. Cynic had the Tidal Blast in play. I believe it was Rav who got that. Central up pod goes down. And this might just be Starbits looking at a full cap here. Gucci tries to pull out the Bastion. You're not stopping the Starbits steamroll here through Runasapi. We're headed to a map 5.
Play of the game.
Wow. Okay. I told y'all we had a certified banger in our hands. Y'all didn't believe me. Yeah. Certified banger. I know it wasn't looking like a banger at the start of this series. It was looking like Dreamlight was going to just run away with another 3-0. That is in fact not the story that we are telling today. What a comeback. What a comeback from Starbits. Dorado pick here out of Dreamlight. Okay, I was asking about other escort maps in the pool. I think it was Route 66, Dorado, and Shambali. Okay, so it's Dreamlight's third map 5 of the season. They're able to win both of the other two. The one against Empire was a back and forth. They denied a reverse sweep from Frosttails, though. They have already denied one reverse sweep this season. And that was just this past Friday. Their very last match. Wu Young banned here from Dreamlight. Some stats there from map 4. Tricky at 20 and 5. Majin 10k damage leading the server. Cynic at 6k damage on the Wu Young and 3 deaths, so the fewest deaths in the server there. Let's see, how many map 5s have you played this season, Starbits? Okay, so this is also their third map 5. Both of our teams' third map 5 of the season. Starbits have lost both map 5s thus far. Where Dreamlight has won both of their map 5s thus far. There you go. Starbit, both of them. This is their third map 5 of the season. Dreamlight winning both of theirs, and most recently, their just most recent match denied a reverse sweep. We're gonna get the Zarya in play. After that was banned out in map 4. Majin's free to go back into that hero. Rab will stick with the Vendetta. Tricky in the Soch. We're getting Cynic. Okay, so we're gonna bring Kiri back line here. This is an interesting, because this is a more front back kind of linear style comp, but played on a more high ground style map. So we'll see if it has the same effectiveness. Upon teased us with a wrecking ball, but does land in the wind tip when it's all said and done. Alright, there's the move to the high ground. Hoping to get Tricky. Tricky is forced to slide back to courtyard. There's actually Slowdive joining in on this high ground assault. Swinging the window, slow dive wisely backs away because felt the imminent pressure. But Apon does not get out in time. So a crucial first pick, finding the tank of the attacking Dreamlight. Starbits will move back and reclaim their high ground. Grab drops it from behind, forces out the recall. We'll get the jump out of the Winton as well. Bubble. This feels like a massive cooldown advantage, and eventually the defense will overwhelm. Rav is just able to force so much with this Vendetta. Does such a good job of the timing on those rotations. As you can see, just as Slow Dive and Gucci were starting to push in and starting to find their pressure, Rav appears on the flank and hits it from the other side. Slipped on ice and scraped up your knee, and you were wearing shorts. That is kind of a wild story. Like, just the juxtaposition of that. Yeah, I hope you're good, Pepper. I hope it was just a scraped knee and nothing more. You're not limping today or anything. Please wear normal pants. Kitsu, Sundering, you're going to rally and grab, not too far behind all that. Tomix does open things up. Dreamlight trying to initiate. See if Appa can get up to the rest of this primal range. God, Rav was low, but just never quite goes down. Appa never gets the primal up. He never gets it in play. So we get a reset with 75 seconds left. God, that Rav was like on just a knife stage. Was the one it felt like, and there was so much pressure. I don't know how they survived that. Just crazy tape. The primal to escape the graviton surge. Sound barrier now OC layered in on top. Once again, Rav is able to get in behind and cause some problems, sneaking in around while Dreamlight pushed forward. But now they are the only ones left. Apon will find those last two cleanup kills, and we will get around the fountain here for Dreamlight. Are we going to try to contest? No. No contest here. High ground OC out of Tricky. A couple quick shots to break the bubble. Able to fight a couple of X's down range. Then I'm just eating some time off the clock when it's really all said and done. See, is Rav able to stage with that? Yeah, Rav is staged down low, right up close to this cart with the Sundering in the pocket. All right, we're going to circle up high. Look to get Central up on. Oh, yeah, that's more than enough to get her done. Enormous chonky damage out of the ultimate. Majin with the finish. Dreamlight go back to the drawing board. Minute 40 remain. And kind of like what we saw on Shambali, Majin's able to hold the high ground and let Rav move in and anchor on the bottom of the car. Tomex does get that Kitsu down before falling, but Rav is just cleaning up here in the back line. Slow dive puts it into that. Finds not only Rav, but Cynic from this high ground POV, and we'll keep Dreamlight rolling here. Just 70 seconds remaining. That fight will be enough to get you around this second bin, but it will take another to get the second point. checking on the slow dive OC, trying to fight into that Kitsune. Oh, Majin just turns the corner with an enormous Graviton Surge. Truly gargantuan. But it's not enough. Slow dive in Gucci kill through the grab, through the Kitsu. An enormous sound barrier. They're out of Rod FD, keeps him alive through all of that. If the grab was gargantuan, the beat was humongous. Minute 20 remains. We're just right on the point. Tricky just getting in the face of slow dive with this one. Drop out and punches Tricky back to their side of the map. Get over there. Wrestle it deep. Majin comes in, say hello. And between the two of them, they're able to hold this line. I mean, stubbornly. Staunchly and personally, right up close, hold this line. Peekaboo. Fakes left and sneaks right. Grab doesn't connect. Peekaboo's made it into the high ground. Scenics gonna go ahead and drop the beat. Atomics has the Kitsune match, trying to hold this line. Appa playing it. It can't quite lock down any targets. Now you've got the Kitsune response. It looked like Appa just wasn't ready for that Kitsune to hit him in the back. It was a great reposition out of Daki. And the defense will stop the cart in the power plant. Atomics sneakily positioned, does at least initiate it overtime, and actually finds an assassination on the Tricky, but there's a grab. Wrecking Ball moving on to the point. See if they can hold this. Can Appan stay alive long enough for them to get a proper fight in? It's not looking like it. The boop and the kill. Now the tag in from Gucci. You do have Rod FD trying to build up towards a B, but just not able to continue to tag enough. The overtime burns down faster and faster as time moves on.
0 to 2. Switching sides. Initiating match. Ready for battle.
All right, let's hear that fighting spirit. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Starbits looking to complete the reverse sweep. Oh! Oh, and that is a hell of a start. Oh my, is that one hell of a start. We'll see if Dreamlight is even able to get their defense back into the fountain area. This could just be first point, and it's starting to look that way. Slowdive's going to get mowed down as well. Appan falls late. Now, card progress is minimal, still in the early stages, so chance for a recontest, but they've staggered out very nicely. And we'll be able, Starbits should be able to poise themselves against the alley recontest here. Let's see how they set up. Okay, Slowdive moves in, grabs spot in the hallway. Saw Rav coming in over the top, though. I think it's looking for that juicy backline. We'll find it. Cuts Rod FD in two. Whirlwind dash. Would have caught Tomex had they not self-Suzu'd. It is traded by Gucci. Slowdive gives the advantage back over to this defense. Dreamlight certainly aren't giving up without a fight. Majin's going to come run you down. Ooh, a good Suzu save out of Tomex. Dreamlight fighting tough here. Will find the kill on to Majin. And Opon and company hold with less than 5 meters. God, that was digging deep. That just looked like a foregone conclusion. Dreamlight, I mean, talk about snatch and victory from the jaws of defeat. My goodness. Beautiful angle. Tomex was just doing so much damage to this other side as Rab was trying to turn that corner. You saw them just eat a couple of big kunais. The Kitsu are in play now as Tomex was able to build up towards that ultimate just in the nick of time to match here on the very back of point A. Slowdive swings up towards the high ground. Grav will rip him down from him though. Rab is able to just throw a cutting edge right through the mix. Defense is annihilated. Starbits move up and grab the first point needed. Don't even have to complete the map to complete the reverse sweep. Oh, clever little placement there off the side. Opon goes down. Had not made the read on Rav. Roof surfing up on that high ground. Gets caught by that initial damage with Tricky and Majin there to help finish it off. And so without really much fanfare, the defense is forced to just give up so much space. And this precious high ground still belongs to Starbits and Hypnos. Overclock duel between Tricky and Slowdive. Sub-area play from Rod FD. Slowdive slides forward and puts 2 into Majin for the kill. Rav will go down, and once again, Dreamlight will explode out with a decisive hold. 3 minutes remain. Cynic did not match the beat. Rod FD dropping the only sound barrier to that. Is that going to be enough? We're going to use the sound barrier earlier just to try to capitalize on an out of position Opon. Opon just corners up. And try to absorb as much damage as they can, popping the annihilation, so Starbits just let them go. But Rav gets cut down. Slowdive catches one up at the high ground. Map somewhat flipped, is now looking a bit chaotic. It's just Gucci anchoring the cart rather. I know, I can't spit it out right now. I'm exhausted. I'm so ready for a break. Starbits seem to have run out of steam here on the back of this fight. It's another precious minute eaten off the clock by the Dreamlight defense. Oh, Slowdive fights Tricky. Despite there being a Kitsu in play, the rest of Starbits just drop back down and kind of push this card if they can. Rav's going in. All attention thrown onto Opon. But Tomex is going to throw a Kitsu, and Majin will not make it back around that corner. Nice kunai there out of Tomex. Great aim from the flex support. We're seeing Slowdive and everybody jump in to find more picks. And now what seemed like a pretty substantial time bank has been cut down to 75 seconds. Dreamlight do have an OC to work with. But you've got the Bubble Buster combo. Graviton Surge and Sundering Blade. Majin get a ton of damage, drops the grab into the back. It is going to catch Rod FD before they can get down to the low ground, but it is the only person they catch. Tomek's able to swift step away with very little health, and Slowdive covers the retreat with the OC. Rav gets found out inside the vault. Will not be able to regroup. Low health bars for your Starbits now fall to nothing. OC in play from Tricky to try to salvage this map, try to salvage this series. 17 seconds to go. 2 connect on a Slowdive. Ice in the veins of Tricky to even the odds. Rav drops in the Sundering Blade, floating over the top, holding it for the entirety of those 4 seconds, but will not connect with the damage. Still, you've bought time for the rest of the team to get back into this fight. 3 meters to go. Considering tossed in from Docky. Central Upon is just going to stand the line with an annihilation. This will prompt a sound barrier. Double support holds out of Starbits. That's enough to get this 3rd point on the board. 2nd point, rather. We're moving into the power plant. Box of victory in sight. Buck 30 to go. A bubbled Rav will find Tomex here at the end of the fight. Slowdive able to make it into spawn, though. But you can go and pop out. Tomex can swift step and regroup. Which means you can run out just a couple seconds early. There you go. Grenade to the high ground from Peekaboo. Try to grab some precious space here. No ultimates for Starbits. 60 seconds to go. Sound barrier and Kitsu available for Dreamlight to try to hold this defense. Majin fights right at Dino. The sound barrier is not going to be available into this fight. Rav is going to get aggressive. See if they can keep Tomex at bay, but the Kitsune Rush does make it down. Up on his forced to step forward, try to hold the line, but there's just too much damage. Starbits, they complete the map. They reverse sweep Dreamlight, handing in their first loss of the season. Unbelievable. Where Dreamlight was able to fend off the reverse sweep previously. This time, they could not stop the snowball that was Starbits. What a banger. Wow, what a banger. Rav actually leading in damage there at 36 and 9, 15.6k damage, leading the server. I think Rav's going to have to be your player of the match here today. We saw Rav with a big play on Suravasa, you know, with a huge clutch. They kind of started to breathe some life in the squad, you know. We kind of saw Starbits kind of wake up a little bit. There were signs of it on Suravasa. They got some really, really terrible draws on the 2 subsequent points, right? So, I mean, just kind of got some bad draws there on Suravasa. I mean, Dreamlight was looked like they were about to just, you know, business as usual, 3-0. No, that was not the case. What a clapback, what a comeback. And taking Dreamlight to Shambali Monastery, of all places, to take Central Opon to one of the best Ramastra maps in the game. So, I mean, that kind of aura, that kind of gall. And they beat them. And they beat them with that exceptional hold. For the first half of point A, you see kind of the Vendetta off-tank look, and Majin staying on the high ground. Second half of point A, Rav is able to go a lot more aggressive, and plays more like an assassin, is going into the back line and finding kills for that retake. Rav on the Vendetta. Rav on the Vendetta demanded attention, demanded an answer every single time. Absolute banger. Absolute banger.